What is up, everybody, and welcome to True Storms. So this is a very old mod, not very old, but in regards to most of Fallout 4 mods, it is just now getting a port to Xbox One. If you're an Xbox One user and you've never heard of this mod, it's one of the top mods on PC. It started out as a simple weather mod, changing the rain, giving some new thunder sounds, and making rain a little bit scarier. With the 1.4 update, it really evolved into something much more than that, so we'll be going over that today, and you should be excited about this. This is probably one of the best weather mods out there right now, really feature rich, and frankly, if you've watched my channel, I've used this in probably about 80% of the videos on my channel, whether it just be fighting in some of the different weather types added, or something like that. But with that, let's just get right into it. So when you install the mod, you'll get these two new things in your inventory: the True Storms configuration and the True Storms weather control. Basically, the True Storms configuration is going to give you all of the different features that are added by this mod, which we'll go into a little bit more after I show you some of the different weathers. So what we want to look at is the True Storms weather control, and again, I've used this in a lot of my videos. I normally put it on a fog or something like that, so if you've watched most of my videos, you'll definitely seen this. So as you can see, as soon as you get in here, we do have three different menus. We have the Commonwealth, so these are the weathers added by vanilla Fallout 4. As you can see, that's all of them right there. Then we do have Far Harbor, so a lot of these weathers are custom to Far Harbor. I'm not going to really go through all of these because some people don't have the DLC, some people haven't played the DLC yet, etc. And I think you'll get a good enough glimpse with just the normal True Storms. So here we do have the whole True Storms category, and basically the way this works is the Far Harbor ones are also included here, but the ones you're going to want to look at are the Commonwealth ones, which are going to be ones for the Commonwealth, obviously, but these are all True Storms weathers. So we do have a few other ones. So Dusty is basically a dust storm, and I'll show you these in action. It's a lot easier. Then we have some Rad Rains and some Misty Rain, etc. So let's just start out with, right now I'm doing a light rain, a rain light. So let's just go with a normal rain and check out a little bit of what happens. So as you can see, the rain itself does look very different and really very cool. But one of the best or most ambient parts of this mod is the thunder sounds. So the thunder and the clouds and all that are all changed, and as you can see, we're getting some of the different thunder sounds in the background right now, but it could be very menacing. So as you can see, there's a few sparks right there. It's kind of going to be hard to show, but if you're walking or traveling in a thunderstorm, it can get very loud, and I don't want to say frightening, but definitely menacing. The thunder will strike down and kind of be like a loud boom compared to the vanilla game. So here we now have the heavy Rad Rain, and as you can see, this is very scary, and this is obviously akin to the regular Rad Storm. I'm going to put myself in God mode so I don't die here, but yeah, as you can see, much more menacing. It is obviously giving you radiation damage as you travel through this. There's also another feature added where ghouls will pop up in Rad Storms, but I'll go over that a little bit more when we get into the different features added by this mod. But yeah, this is definitely one of the scarier ones. It's like a culmination of a Rad Storm and a heavy thunderstorm. So here we do have a dust storm. This is really cool. This is akin to fog, but basically it just gives you dust everywhere, and it really lowers your visibility. I think even more so than fog like this one, because you have all these dust particles flying in your face. Every so often your visibility is lowered much further just because, well, there's stuff in your face right now. So this is definitely a menacing one if you're in combat or battling. Playing the game with this kind of stuff installed can get pretty scary again, and it definitely could make it a little bit different. If you're doing a quest in the open and you have a dust storm kick in, it's going to be a very different experience as compared to just some normal rain. So this is actually probably my favorite out of the bunch. This is just the fog, and I really like the fog. I just think it looks nice, and it gives you a, I don't know, it gives you a cool feel. You could still see, your visibility is obviously much higher than that of the dust storm, but not, you know, you can't see as much as if it's normally raining. I just like this one. I don't know, I think it gives Fallout 4 a nice post-apocalyptic kind of scary feel, without ruining the game too much. Not that the other ones ruin the game, but some other mods out there do add a little bit too much. So one of the things added by this mod is actually different kind of, I don't know, strengths of these different things. So now I'm on the fog light. Before we were on the heavy fog. Basically the way it works is normal fog is heavy, and then there is also light versions of a lot of these weathers. So right now, again, this is the light fog, and as you can see, my visibility is much better. You can see quite a bit more as compared to before, and you know, pretty self-explanatory in that sense. And then finally, there's a few other weather ones, but they're just kind of modifications of the ones I've shown. We do have the Misty Rain. This is the last major weather type. Basically, it's going to be a combination between the fog and the rain, but also giving you that kind of fog effect. So when you're running around, you'll get a fog bubble, I guess, I don't know, in your face every so often, just kind of limiting your visibility a little bit more. I really do like this one. I think this one's one of the more menacing ones out there, and it's kind of a bit of fun to play in this weather. This is actually how I started my survival let's play. We spawned in this weather, except the rain was slightly harder, which was an interesting way to start a playthrough. So let's check out some of the different features added by this mod. If we go into the True Storms configuration menu, and again, as soon as you spawn, you'll just get these two things. We do have some of the different things. So you have the effects in general. This is just going to be all the effects added by the game. Then you have constant rads by Rad Rain. So obviously, as you're in the Rad Storm, which we showed a little bit earlier, whether or not you're going to just be getting consistent radiation through that entire experience, obviously just turning it on or off. Sneak buffs on the player, so, and the companion. We'll go over both of these now. In an environment like this, so where it's foggy and raining and all around the visibility is much lower, you'll actually be easy or harder to detect while sneaking. So let's say I wanted to sneak up on that lady over there at the thing. Well, I'm going to remain hidden for a lot longer with it being rain now. So this is a new feature in the 1.4 update. So right now, maybe if it wasn't raining, it would be easier to detect me. Well, since it's raining, it's going to be a bit harder for her to detect me. I don't think she would have detected me anyway, because I have a pretty high sneak skill. There, she did finally detect me. But yeah, just all around a really cool feature to have. So as you can see, now she's looking at me. But now we're hidden again. And you could set that for companions and not. I think it buffs it by 10 or 20%. So I'll be 20% or 10%, I think it is, harder to detect depending on the weather types. Some of the lighter rains aren't as much of a modifier, they're lesser. So, and then some of the heavy rains make it even harder to detect you. So next up, we have the particle and damage occlusion, whatever. And basically what this is going to do is as you go inside, the rain won't come in. This isn't as obvious in a building like this because I don't think the rain normally came in, but some certain buildings such as this one, as you walk in here, as you can see, the rain's only coming through the cracks, like that one right there. But some of these more solid parts, like over here, there is no rain falling through, which is a very cool feature to have. And another thing is, it's kind of hard to show right here, but if we actually go inside now, listen. There are actually different rain sounds while you go inside, and this actually also works on buildings. So let's say there was a door here and I had a fast travel through, but it was just still an exterior building. That'll work also. It's not just for interiors where you could just walk in and walk out. It actually does work when you have to go through a loading screen as well, and you get those kind of interior, it sounds like rain's landing on the ceiling effect. The third thing added by this is some of the different fogs. So as you can see, we do have, well, the fog has to go away. It's a little bit glitchy. I've had some problems with it working and then not working, but for the most part, it does work. Basically, what this is going to do is it adds in these new fog filters, and if you place these down, fog won't go in this building. So as you can see right now, there's no fog in here, despite outside being some fog, and as you walk in, it has to load the filter, and then all the fog will disappear. It's a lot better to show this in like a big building, you'll notice it, because then you won't have any fog appearing. But it'll also work with buildings like this. So if we run into here, there shouldn't be any fog. As you can see, it all just dissipated right there, and we're fog free despite being inside. Some of the other mods out there don't really work so well with that, which it's really nice to see True Storms getting features like that. And the last but not least, we do have the Gruel Hoard. So basically what this is going to do is ghouls will follow radiation storms up from the glowing sea and will appear randomly for a duration of the weather. Setting a 0% chance to turn this feature off completely. It is self-cleaning and does not cause save bloat. So basically, if I save the game, the ghouls will not be saved with me even on the map. So they'll disappear when I save. So you won't have corrupted saves or crazy saves or anything like that. So With this one, as you can see, we got a ton of different things. So I set it to 100% just to show you guys how this is going to work. And then we have this spawn frequency, how often they will spawn individually. So if I put it too high, every 10 to 40 seconds, there will be a chance for them to spawn. Since I'm on 100%, they will spawn every 10 to 10 to 15 seconds, or 5 to 15 seconds. But if it was on 70%, every 5 to 15 seconds, there's a 70% chance it'll roll a dice and decide, okay, our ghoul's going to spawn. Then we have the horde size. This is how many will be spawned in. We'll set it to 20, I guess. And then last but not least, ghoul hordes and settlements. And this is whether or not they will come attack your settlements. So I actually have to turn combat processing AI back on for this. But now let's go change the weather to Rad Storms. So I'm not super explaining this because it's a lot easier to just visualize it and see how this works. So that was actually light. Let's go for a heavy Rad Storm instead. And so as we have a Rad Storm now, ghouls will spawn. That's what this adds. That is the pretty simple but pretty freaking scary. So if you're caught out in the wild during a Rad Storm, and I am in God mode because I don't want to die. And if you listen right now, you could actually kind of hear, it's very subtle with all these other sounds going on, but you could technically hear the ghouls coming. So sometimes it takes a little while after the start of a storm. Obviously I have everything pretty much maxed out, but basically the way it'll work, yep. The ghouls will just start spawning and coming at you. So the logic behind this is obviously it's a Rad Storm, so you know, the ghouls will be actively being made due to the radiation, and they'll come out and come out of the ground. I don't know, whatever. But very menacing and very scary. It makes Rad. And right there, we did hear a scream. Basically, that's what you'll hear. You'll hear a scream from the distance, and now they will be coming from one of these directions. I don't actually know which one, but they'll appear next to you yet again. So definitely a very menacing feature, but that's pretty much it for True Storms, guys. That is going to be, you know, pretty much all of the features. So a very feature-rich mod. Definitely my favorite weather mod right now. I absolutely love this one. Vivid Weather's out a close second. There's a compatibility patch to use both of those, although I don't think that's out on consoles yet. But for you consoles users, I definitely recommend just installing this. I really like how it oh, we just heard the scream again. I really like how it adds in this weather control, so you can instantly play with all the weather types and all that. But definitely a good mod to check out. One of the best mods for Fallout 4 out right now. So as always, I thank you guys for watching. Hopefully everything was clear in this video. There's a lot going on, so I try to explain it pretty simply and put everything clearly. But yeah, so I hope to see you all next time. Later.